Hi, I'm Sandy from Halloween Corazon. In today's video, I'm going to take you through the design process into the Cricut. So we are going to learn to make magical keys. We're going to be cutting this guy out. I'm not going to do much about the actual drawing. We're going to start in Procreate, but I'm only going to spend just a minute there just explaining how I save the file types. The easiest way to save files and to import them into Cricut Design is through an SVG file. Procreate does not do SVGs. But we're going to make all the cut pieces for this. There'll be a second video where I'm going to put the assembly so that people that do not have a Cricut are able to just skip this part of the design. So I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait to see it. Let's get started. My designs begin in Procreate. It's a very simple app to use. I've been using it for many years now with my job. I have a good flow with it. I understand how to do it, and I'm fast with it. So I keep using it at the moment. I make all my designs, I get all my layers, and then I save them as PNG files. And as PNG files, I also save them without a background. I save them into different folders onto my actual iPad, and then I upload into the Cricut design space from my iPad. And this is the Cricut app opened. I've tried using the app a little. I don't think it quite has the same ease of use as the one that's on the laptop. So mostly I just use this as a shortcut to get all my designs from Procreate and my iPad into Design Space so I can work on them on my actual Mac. And to do that, I just go into Upload, I browse my files, I find the pieces that I'm looking for, and I insert them. And you can see here, when you import your design, even though it's a PNG, even though it has a transparent background, a lot of times you'll get this distortion you see here. I'm not sure why it does that, but what I found is if you just go to the Remove section with the magic wand, click on the picture, it automatically straightens it up, and then you just hit Next. It looks like the cut files are good, no problem there. And then I move to Save Image. You have two options. You can save as a cut image, or you can save as a print and cut. The cut image is the easiest thing to save in. If you're going to make a sticker or anything like that, then obviously you need print and cut. But if you're going to do debossing or foil or anything like that, then you just need to save it as a cut image right now. It's just going to put this into your library on your laptop. Give it a nice name, key, and hit save. It's going to automatically upload into your library in your Cricut design. Here's Design Space opened on my MacBook. What I want to do is go into Upload. I've already printed out the wings a little earlier, so I want to print out the deboss, the key, and the felt cut piece behind it, and hit Insert Images. And that will bring us here. At the moment, everything is a big blob. So the first thing I want to do is go in and change the color of the different layers. Doesn't matter what color it is, it just makes it a lot easier to see if everything is not black. So I do that, and then all the parts are ready. I already know that the key that I've cut things for before is 10 centimeters tall. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to this key, click on the height here, and just change that to 10 centimeters. That's going to give me the proper size for what I want to do with the rest of it. Then you just go in and do basically the same thing with the other ones. This one, it's going to be 10 because it goes actually inside the key. And this piece I suspect is going to be around 12. If I put that in, as you can see in a minute, I'll adjust it so I can choose the actual size. Once that's done, I just zoom in a little bit so I get a better idea of what's happening. And then I just start moving pieces around. So you can see the debossing piece is still far too large for that key. So I'm just going to shrink it down until it looks like it's the correct size. A little bit more. And just a hair. Move this out of the way. There, that looks pretty good. Zoom back out and take the felt piece that goes underneath and then adjust the size to the key once again. Once you do this, you can take a note to know exactly how big you made things. But when you are trying to figure it out, you can eyeball it. 11 looks like it's going to be good. I should cut it about even. I'll have a little bit of space on the top and the bottom. That looks great. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to lock together two of the layers. I'm going to use the debossing layer, but first I need to go in and adjust it. At the moment here it says it's a cut file. It's not. We're going to go to deboss. The reason it's debossing instead of embossing is instead of adding a layer, we're pressing into the paper, and that's going to create a groove. The easiest thing to do is to do that. You can see the line got significantly thicker. You can also check and make sure that that looks good with what you're actually going to put on your crafts. And then once you get those two and you're happy with it, if you click on both of them and then hit attach, when you click on attach, what you do is you combine the files. So now instead of having a debossing file and a cut file and a back file, I have a deboss and cut. So that means it's going to do the work at the same time. I have to switch out the blades. First it will go in and deboss everything. Afterwards it will cut around the outside. The felt piece will come as its own. So let's take that into Make It. It will show us that we're going to sort our match by color. You can see here the key is with the debossing and the cut. I've found that I'm buying poster board a lot. That way I can cut things down to the size that I need. So if I say I want 5 keys, for example, you can look at it and say, okay, well, if I use 5 keys, then I need 12 centimeters by 22 centimeters to be safe in paper. It's a lot better way than choosing, for example, an A4 sheet of paper, and then you can see it will cut, but all this space will go to waste because there's nothing there. So I've just found for myself, if I'm using cardboard or something that's large, then I'm just leaving it in the 30 by 30 random start that it is. And then we're going to hit continue. Yes, and now it's connected. What I'm going to do first is go in and pick the material. What I want is a foil poster board, but I did a test cut earlier, which I always recommend, and I found out that it's not cutting all the way through. So I'm just going to go through and check the materials here for foil cardboard. Foil poster board. It says it's off with a 2-point cut, but I'm going to hit edit and I'm just going to ask it to do a second time just to make sure that we get down to the bottom. Change that there, go to the bottom and hit done. Now when you go back, you'll be able to choose the foil poster board. Here, click on that and done. So you can see here, now that I have the base material made, what I need to do is go in and load my debossing tip, because remember, we're doing a fine deboss. Afterwards, we're doing a cut. Same material, same mat, same everything. So I just need to load the debossing tip. I need to load the mat, and then I need to push the load and upload. After that, I'll push the start button. Great. Now we're ready to cut. The first thing we're going to do is do the debossing. The debossing tips is one of the quick release tips that you can get from Cricut. I'm just going to put this in the machine real fast. I'm cutting 1 key just to make sure that the time goes a little bit faster. As you can see, I've cut enough paper for the 1 key. You load it up. quick tip I found. Use a roll underneath your mat. Keeps it from sliding off. It's really difficult when you're using cardboards or heavier materials because they want to separate when the mat starts to lean. This is a great tip. So I'm just going to go in and push everything and hit the go button. I'll fast forward this. Great. Now it's done with the debossing. I'm going to go in and I'm going to start with the fine cutting blade. One thing I did learn is you have to make sure that you seat your blade correctly. If it's not all the way down, the cut will not be deep enough. So always make sure that it's always at the bottom when you put your blade in. We're going to hit go again. Now it's done cutting. What we're going to do is just release it. Take my thing there. And there, I have the cut. Also, a good top tip when you're taking things off of the board, always make sure to fold it and take the board off of the key, but also do it to the short side so you have less stress on the actual design. So I'm just going to do that real fast. And take this guy off. And there you have it. I think that's a good example on how to use the deboss plus cut function. For the sake of time, I've cut the rest of the materials off camera. It's very straightforward. For the felt, I used the fabric mats plus the rotary blade. The rotary blade is the best one to use for felt. It doesn't pull or get it distorted. I used the regular fine point blade plus the regular mat for the rest of the paper. And on this one, I'm also using this canvas-backed vinyl glitter sheet that you can get at one of the craft stores. The problem with this is because of the canvas, it didn't want to stick to the mat. I tried using the purple mat with the most grip. It still came loose. I ended up with a mangled piece. So I remember I had seen a tip about using regular contact paper on the back side of a material if you can't get it to stick. It works beautifully with these. The only problem is when you take the vinyl off, it tends to want to fray a little bit of the threads in the canvas. I just took a small scissor and a lot of patience and went through. It takes a minute, but I think the results are absolutely worth it. So that's it. That's the end of this Cricut video. I'm doing it in 2 parts. That way I have a video for you guys, but I also have a video for people who, like myself until very recently, did not have a Cricut, so didn't need this extra information. So I hope to see you there. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.